How's easy? I'll tell you. Minor sprain to her knee when the kid landed on it. And probably out this week. But after that, day to day. So probably the first good news I've ever gotten from Dr. Coiner. She was so excited she couldn't wait to tell me. So there you have the Easy Fuck report.
How are her spirits?
Well, if you can imagine what the alternative could have been, her spirits are pretty good. You know, I sat down next to her on the bench and I told her this is not going to go the way it's gone in the past. So we just need to inject some positive thinking there. So, yeah, nobody wants to miss time. Nobody wants to miss games. But given the alternative, I think she's pretty pleased.
What about Yana? You said that she might need surgery or operation?
Yeah. That decision is going to be made soon. And if it does happen, it's going to happen soon. We just don't have a date.
Would that be season ending?
If the surgery takes place, yes. Yes. Which is, kid can't catch a break, right?
Is Aubrey progressing well?
Yes. Playing a lot of simulated games, doing more and more every day in practice. Now it's more of how's her body respond the day after practice. And as that gets better and better and better all the time, then obviously we'll be closer.
You still looking at January for her then, probably?
You know, that's what she tells me. So I'm just going by what she says. Whether there's any truth to that, I don't know. I take everything my players say with a grain of salt.
After looking back at Saturday's film, I know that you said after the game there was a lot you liked, but is there anything you didn't like about the way things progressed at certain points?
Saturday? Yeah, I mean, you can always nitpick. You know, we're always trying to find things we don't like. I thought that whole first half, it'd be hard to find something we didn't like. I do think we have to continue to rebound the ball better. I do think we have to continue to keep people out of the lane, and I think our ball movement was really, really good, and I think you can always, keep getting better at that. But I think for the most part, I think we committed a couple silly fouls that got kids on the bench with a couple fouls that, you're always trying to eliminate. But other than that, there was a lot to like about Saturday, and I thought we were pretty thorough, offensively and defensively. Considering that we did a lot of it without Paige scoring, she made a lot of other things happen. She draws so much attention, so a lot of really, really, good takeaways from Saturday.
So with AZ out, I'm assuming you fall back on Ash again, and luckily you started the season with her. What have you liked about her that she's brought this year that's different from last year?
She's another one that I think the challenge for Ash going into the Louisville game especially was for her, and KK specifically, those two, because whenever you have two former starter that are used to starting and now they're coming off the bench, that's a huge advantage that we would have against, some other team. So the challenge was you have to change the game when you come in. The complexion of the game has to look different when you come in. And I thought when Ash got in the game, that's exactly what happened. There were things that she just made happen right away on the offensive end that I thought were decisive. So, she's getting better defensively. I think she can be a much better rebounder. I think she has the ability to do that. And, we're encouraging her to do more of that. But, you know exactly what you're going to get from Ash. She's going to come out, she's going to compete, she's going to play really, really hard. She gets it going, she's going to make a lot of shots. And that's exactly what you want, from somebody in your second unit.
When I talked to her last week, or a couple weeks ago, she said that her biggest growth so far has been her confidence this year. Have you noticed that too? Has she shown you that she's a little more comfortable?
Yeah, I believe that after you have a whole season under your belt, you should feel pretty good about what you're capable of doing because you already did it. So someone's confidence level, sometimes, especially in today's day and age, is conditional. If I'm playing well and things are going well, I'm making shots and I'm happy, the world is great and I'm unstoppable. And then the next game you miss your first 3 shots and you don't think you'll ever make one the rest of your life. So getting away from that roller coaster, I think, is huge for a young player, that when they get to be a sophomore, that with each game it gets less and less that you're riding that roller coaster. And I think she's more there now than she was last year.
Geno, has this first 4 or 5 weeks of the season gone pretty much as you hoped or expected for Paige in particular?
Yeah, I think it has. Except for the Louisville game, every game that we've played, there's been a lot of really good things to take away and enough not so good that we could go back and say, these are areas that we have to attack. And before the Louisville game, the challenge was, can we sustain a level of play for, in this case, it was 3 quarters before, all the starters sat. And I thought we did. I thought the third quarter was probably our best quarter. And to me, that's the deciding quarter. You can come back from being down 20 in the first quarter. But once you get down 20-some points in the third quarter, that's hard. So playing well coming out of halftime, I think, is huge. And I thought we did a great job of that. So everybody's pretty much done what I expected them to do. I think Sarah's maybe a little further ahead than I thought she would be. I knew she'd be impactful, but I wasn't sure whether her, learning curve was going to be automatic or it was going to take a while. And it's been pretty good.
Geno, is it harder to have been a starter and then become a bench player, or be a bench player to become a starter?
I think it takes a certain kind of mindset to be someone that watches the first couple minutes and then comes in, because you can take that as a negative, or you can take it as a positive. I'm way more ahead than if I started the game and I was thrown right into the mix. Now when I come in, I know exactly what's going on. I know exactly what they're doing. I know exactly what we have to do, where I'm going to get my shots from, blah, 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 blah. And having that mindset, I think you take it as a point of pride that coach is counting on me to change the game. The downside is that everybody thinks having a lot of options is great. Well, it kind of is. But the only downside to that is when players think they're going to play 35 minutes, 36 minutes, 37 minutes every night, they don't necessarily worry about how they're playing, because they go look at me and like, what are you going to do, take me out? So they just play, and they play through whatever nonsense is going on out there, so it's a benefit for them a lot of times to just play through all that. And yet at the same time, nobody can play through all that for an entire season, as we found out last year. So having the ability to bring somebody off the bench that can be a game changer, I think is huge. So when someone, when a coach gives you that role and says, hey, I want you to be a game changer, I think that's a pretty important role that I'm giving you. But you have to have the right mindset. You can't take it as a demotion, so to speak. Like KK and Caitlin are averaging the same number of minutes almost exactly. One's at 20, 21, the other one's at 19 something. So you're going to get the same amount of minutes. You're going to play the same amount. Just be productive during those minutes.
What are you most impressed with this team so far this year?
Today at practice, not much, but I think the way we're incorporating everyone in our offense, losing 2 seniors that were instrumental in a lot of the stuff that we did, bringing in some new faces. Our style of play had to change a little bit because of, playing more players. So I think the games are going about the way I expected. I was pleasantly surprised that rebounding wise, I think we doubled them up on Saturday. So I didn't expect that. So that was a good sign. And I thought we've gotten better at that. We've also harped on it more, but we've gotten better at that. Something that I don't think we were great at last year.
When it comes to Paige's, I guess, progression of becoming more, I know you've used the word selfish, or she likes the word assertive.
Assertive.
Where would you say she's at in that journey? Is she where you want her to be? And especially going into a game like Thursday, it's with AZ not there.
Yeah.
What do you need from her?
The value of having somebody like Paige, and not every great player has this mindset. Okay, and I could name you some if you want me to, but I won't. That they make their teammates a lot better just by their presence on the floor and their ability to see and pass. Okay, so Paige's impact on our team, even Saturday, can be either getting 20 points or being responsible for us getting a lot of easy buckets, a lot of free looks. So is she being more assertive? Yes. Yes. Have I gotten her, and this is on me, to understand how much movement she needs off the ball because of the way she's going to be guarded? But she attracts so much attention everywhere she goes that it does a lot for our other players. Sarah's able to have a lot of the opportunities that she has because, Paige is attracting a lot of attention. Now you put AZ out there, and now you have 2 players, Paige and Sarah, who are great at finding whoever's open. So that makes our team doubly dangerous. So, yeah. Paige is a little more serious.
You talk about Sarah still having the freshman moments and things in practice.
Yeah.
What do you feel like is the biggest thing she's missing right now? What does kind of a next step look like for her with how well she started?
The next step? And I think this will show itself before the end of the season. I'm convinced. Act like you're a first-team All-American, as opposed to, I'm new here, I'm a freshman, and we have a lot of really good players, and this is UConn, so let me just blend in. Which, it's hard for somebody like that to just blend in. So accepting that you're really, really, really good, and without putting a lot of pressure on her. There's not many freshmen in America that are doing what you're doing at a level that we're trying to play at. So act like it, And that last possession in the first half says it all, right? First half or the quarter?
Yes,
First half.
First half. That was just the most bizarre possession in the history of college basketball. I would have told Sveta, pass it, and Sveta would have shot it 5 times in those 12 seconds. And now I got to tell Sarah, go. And she goes, what do you mean? So, yeah, she's still a high school kid in that respect.
Is Paige basically the same player she was 4 years ago, just a stronger, more refined player? Or has much changed about her game in 5 years you've had her?
I think her her ability to play through contact is much, much better. The crazy thing is now she seeks contact and then doesn't get the calls that someone else would probably get. But if you ask her why, she goes, because I finish all the time, then they don't want to give me that call. So you're better off not even asking. But yeah, playing through contact, being a little more disciplined, you know. But basically, her role is similar to freshman year, but she probably has a little more, we have a little more versatility on our team. She helps that, and that helps her. So we're at a different time and place, but yeah, her confidence level was never necessarily an issue, but I think she's exceptionally confident now, and I think the change in her body probably allows her to be like that. I just don't want, I don't want to wear her down.
What do you think of her shoes?
I love them. I really do. I think they're really cool. She picked out some great colors. They look great, in person, on TV. It's a really cool shoe, and the players like it. They say it's comfortable. I'll take their word for it,
You don't have a pair yet?
Oh, I have a pair. Yeah.
Signed.
I don't know if they're my size. I haven't opened the box. So, yeah. No, it's not on my list of like favorite shoes of all time. I mean, when my daughter was inside Ralph Sampson's shoe, that was a favorite shoe. When she was a month old or 2 months old. But it's still a beautiful shoe, I think. I think every kid out there will love it. Players are starting to ask about it, and college players are starting to ask about it. And again, if the shoe is comfortable, and it's as comfortable as it is, visually appealing, then I think a lot of kids are going to be wearing that shoe.
You've had Paige and Maya, who just had outstanding overall freshman seasons. I mean, Paige may be the best ever. What does it take to sustain something like that? And does Sarah have it in her to be good from start to finish?
That's, I don't know. I don't know that when Paige came to UConn, we wrote down on the board she was going to win every single award that you're capable of winning. That was a surprise, and it was in the bubble. So how the hell do we know how anybody else was playing at the time? We didn't get to see anything. But she was spectacular in every area of the game. And then life got in the way, right? So right now, Sarah's been everything that we wanted her to be from the beginning of the season to now. Where that goes going forward, I think life is going to determine that.
This is a different Notre Dame team that you've seen the past couple of years. Just what impresses you the most with the way Hannah and especially Olivia are playing together?
Well, I think there are three perimeter players, if you want to call them that. I think there are three, for all intents and purposes, or three guards, kind of. I think their three guards are so good. They're so aggressive offensively. They're so skilled offensively. They put so much pressure on you, pushing the ball up the floor, attacking the basket, being able to make shots. That's to me, those are the most difficult teams to play against. You heard Jeff, Wells talking about trying to prepare for us if Paige, Casey, and Sarah are out there. Like, where do you know? And I think they have that. And they're a confident bunch. Everybody talks about their lack of depth. It's like when I was complaining about our lack of depth last year, and Wells, I remember saying, yeah, I feel bad for him now. Paige is going to play 40 minutes instead of 30. And Aaliyah's going to play 40 minutes instead of 30. So, yeah, their lack of depth is something that they're dealing with that we've been there, but at the same time, those three guys ain't coming out. And that's brutal for everybody else. So I can't wait for the rest of their team to get healthy. So hopefully a couple of those guys get a rest and get them off the court so we don't have to deal with them.
Is this the best backcourt you think we'll see all season?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen every other team, but so far, and I could change my mind if I see more teams play, but obviously because we're playing them and watching them a lot, yeah, they're certainly the best that we faced. They will be up to this point, and I don't know that somebody might be as good, but I don't know that anybody's better as a backcourt.
How much of a mental challenge is it going, into an environment like this against your first top 10 team with a group that's sort of inexperienced?
I know. To me, that's always the biggest challenge, is how are your players going to react when they first get in that environment. Sarah's never been in that environment. Jenna's never been in that environment. Caitlin Chen's never been in that environment. So you want to experience everything that environment has to offer, so that you can walk out of there feeling like, I can handle all this, and I just did. And that's a great sign going forward. Or I got to get better at handling this. And that's not that bad a sign going forward, because it hardens you. It does something to you. I remember when Notre Dame came, and it was the first game day in college basketball history on the women's side, and they came to Gamble, and we were loaded. Renee, Maya, Tina, we were loaded. And Skylar was a freshman. And Tina outscored their whole team in the first half. And we just blew them out. But fast forward a couple of years, and it was a whole different story. So I think once you put yourself in that environment, good things are going to come out of there. And like I tell the team all the time when we play these games, the loser of that game this season doesn't end. It's going to feel like an NCAA game, but it's not. That's the beauty of playing these games. And I don't think people completely understand that, because sometimes it's not being treated this way because there's more games there. But I remember all those times when we played Tennessee and when we played Notre Dame eventually, it was always this year's game of the century. And it's like, after a while, you're like, come on, enough already. It's a great game that if you're in our position and you're in their position, you have to play this game. So they'll be excited, we'll be excited, the fans will go crazy, and let their best team win.
Do you like playing it in November as opposed to in the winter like you did last year in January? Or December?
Yeah, I think we've always played them the first week in December, I think it is, and it was usually during playoffs, during a playoff, the NFL playoffs, and I always thought that was really good.
Yeah.
So this is about the time, early December, which is good. You play a game like that too close to Christmas, somebody's going to have a really bad Christmas. Like maybe, So, yeah, this is the perfect time. Perfect time. And football season's over for, college football season. regular season for most people, although now with the crazy thing that's still going on. But no, I just think it's a great environment, you know. Just like when they come here, it's fantastic. And so, yeah. Welcome to Notre Dame.
It's the last year in the series that you have with them. Are you trying to extend that? And
I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will. You know, there's going to be casualties on our schedule simply because we're going back to 20 games in the Big East. So we were at 18 now, and we're going back to 20. So that means 2 less non-conference games. So something's got to give in the next couple of years of scheduling. But games like this, I don't ever want it to go away. I mean, I hope Neil feels the same way. I love this game. Win or lose, I love this game. Love it.
I know we haven't asked you in a while, but how is Caroline doing?
Caroline's doing all right. Caroline's doing all right. You know, it's just one of those, how are you today? Great. How are you today? Tomorrow, how are you? Pretty good. How are you the next day? Great. How are you the next day? So we just kind of take it day by day. I know she wants to play so bad, though. She gets so pissed when we take her off the court. She wants to play so bad. Yeah, I remember her freshman year, it might have been. The game page got hurt. Yeah, she played great in that game. Poof! She played great in that game. So, there you have it, guys.